you and welcome. And to my returning subs, my grown, extended, beautiful family, hey, just keep looking forward, appreciating every opportunity, situation, and dilemma you have been in. It is taking you further than you've ever been before and giving you strength that you didn't know you needed. So, with that being said, much love to all. Namaste. Love and blessings, love and light, and many blessings are definitely coming your way. And if you have been watching my videos for a while and have not already, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell at the bottom so you know when I'm about to upload my next video. Also, if you're comfortable enough, drop me a line or two. I would love the chance to get to know you as much as you're getting to know me, even if it's about the positive feedback of the content of my video, or you're just up, tell me about your empathic gift, how it impacted your life and heading you towards a positive direction. And if you feel like the videos are informative, uplifting, give you good vibes that you would love to share with a loved one, family, or friend, or even a fellow empath they're going through trying times at the moment, needing spiritual guidance, or just needing confirmation or validation towards life path or even soul purposes, please go ahead and share. And while you're at it, give you a thumbs up, like, and also share on your social media favorites wherever you see fit. Thank you once again for the love and support. It's greatly appreciated. And I hope you're able to resonate with the content of my video. And the music that I'm listening to on the background, in case I hate it when I have to either turn it down because this is just like certain things on the, there it goes. Okay, that's better. Certain beats that they use on these things, they get kind of loud, and I don't feel like yelling over them. But it's 741 hertz. Aura cleanse, detox, energy purifier frequency, and I will post that link in the description box below. Okay, there it goes. That's a little bit better. And the video I'm doing today is called Twin Flame 101 Heyokas. There's no negativities in life, only opportunities to create blessings and positive outcomes. Now the mess wants to get loud again. See, I told y'all. I'll work on my nerves tonight. Okay, anything that we go through, and I was just reading a number two, and I said, you know what? Thank you. Your guardian angels, your spirit guides, your loved ones that have passed on, they're all cheering you on. They're all in the wings, just assisting you along your path, because they know what we're going through is not easy. We're the ones who's cutting these cords, these generational curses, and what is it? Generational curses and karmic cycles. All these things are in our lives, not in a negative way. It's all about how we choose to look at it. And it took me a long time. Even there's some I still fall short on and looking at it as a negative situation. But these are the things that, has taken place in your life in a negative way to impact the positive outcome. Because if you did not endure these things, how would you know what you're capable of conquering? How would you know what kind of situations that can be hard you can still allow yourself to overcome those circumstances and, play it out in your favor? A lot of things that, I sit here and reflect on and stuff like that, it has taught me, not to hold on to things, being grateful for the situations that I've been placed in so I can become, have that knowledge, or just being able to find the strength within that problem that has taken place in my life that, really, affected me in many ways. A lot of times I look at a lot of my situations, for me to be able to make peace with it is like, this person came into my life to remind me of something that I need to see within myself. Or there's people that you have connected with that has the same kind of issues as you have on dealing with how to let go and how to forgive what has happened in your life, or pay attention to the certain things that you're doing, but you may not know that you're doing it, while universe sends somebody your way who's doing the same thing you are, but being able to look at it from a different way. And you can see how their actions from this person is affecting their life in a bad way, how they're being, on one track of thinking about something that has impacted their life in a negative way, how oh Lord, here it goes again, it gets loud. um how those things has taken place in your life that really has done some, bad damage to you. But, it's just like a lot of things that has taken place. It brought me to my platform. It's allowed me to really help a lot of people, as, y'all are learning off of me. Um, excuse me, I'm learning off of you in some kind of way that can be really truly appreciated. A lot of times we don't realize the things that we endured shows the capacity of the strength that you carry. And a lot of times we don't give ourselves that credit, but you have to allow yourself to be fair towards yourself. A lot of times we endure things, and you know it can happen, and it's just for you to be able to appreciate what has been taught through that negative circumstance. And sometimes like, oh, we forgive it, but then our mind is still going through that cycle of thinking about, well, they did it because of this, or they said this because of that. And and you can't really allow yourself to keep doing that. And I had to tell myself that too. These things happen for a reason. There's nothing that ever happens in your life, or anybody you come in contact, is never an accident or just so happen to be a coincidence. There's a reason behind everything that has taken place in your life. Every person that you have met has brought you some knowledge of value that you can take along your path. You had to get like truly traumatized, or things are starting to come up to the surface that brought you to this situation. Because there's like a lot of people I've been meeting that have endured a lot of different situations. They didn't know that they were empaths, or they didn't even know they were Heyokas, and there's a lot of people that come in, give me emails or whatever, and they were like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm a Heyoka or not. I said, trust me, if universe sent you this way and you just so happen to fall up on a video that has something to do with a Heyoka, you're pretty much one. So it's just like a lot of things that, the closer I get to, opening myself up to knowledge from all forms, walk of life, or everything, whether, situation is bad or just daggone right, volatile, or even just beautiful. All these things are giving me something I needed along my way, being able to help me, being able to find myself to get over something, giving to overcome, and being able to allow people to use my experiences to be able to overcome whatever they're going through, or they can share with me something that they're going through and they got over it. They can, and it can benefit towards me as well. We're all, it's not nobody knowing something more than the other person. It's all about how we decide to view things. It's all about how we stay focused on it. Being able to understand this negative situation can bring out so many blessings, and as well as outcomes. Because it was like, before I started doing this, I'm just like, why did this have to happen to me, or why did I have to find out like this, or why did this have to take place like this, or I wish I would have, when these situations came up, I wish I would have made different decisions. And I used to beat myself up because of decisions I made, or now allowing myself to really see the truth. I really held guilt for that. And but then I allow myself to see, me being open about the things that I went through. How many people I've connected with that has truly helped them. There's, like I tell y'all, there's times I sit here and cry for the things that y'all have opened up and tell me how my experience in life has really helped you in a positive way. And that I can truly appreciate that on all levels, and it allows you to know the things that you're going through, even though it happened to self. This is supposed to allow you to be able to help humanity in some kind of beautiful way, through those situations. It's kind of like we're going through like mini Jesus of, the things that he endured. He has been judged. He has been crucified. They did so many hurtful things to him, before he died. But then he pulled, these selfless act for many to come after that. And a lot of times we don't even see, it's just like certain situations where, people are taken away from us far too soon. And it was like a lot of them, a lot of us don't realize, especially if somebody's life is not that, they didn't live out their life like that. It's like they had this soul contract that they are only supposed to stay here for a certain amount of time. Then whoever, that are needed here on the waking life, they're supposed to allow themselves to, basically they assign themselves to look over that person from the spirit world to be able to give them guidance for that. There's so many people that I have not had a chance to talk to yet. And at the time, I'm like, oh my God, I hate having these conversations with people, especially if it's somebody I knew from school. It's like one of my friends that, became a lot cooler when we grew up. And, God rest his soul, he lost his little brother, and it's like he's going through a spiritual awakening. And it's just like, it's so hard to come, it's different when somebody approached me about it, but it's just the other way around. I'm like, man, I don't like doing this because Not all the time. I get people and they look at me different after I start telling them stuff because they know there's no way that I should be able to know these things, and it helps them get on the track that they need to get on. The things that we endure is not easy. It's not any way, shape, form, or fashion, but it's like everything that you're going through. I know there's so many people that are, fighting their own demons and stuff like that. And it's like really hard for you to allow yourself to face these things and really understand, to make peace with that painful situation that you have been holding on to, and not realizing, when you're holding on to these things, it blocks you from your own situations. These, it's like people have came, into your life, that has done all type of damage to you. Um, they were sent towards you to be your teacher. They were the people that, helped you see the strength within yourself, allowing yourself to look at a tragedy that became your blessing. Because if you didn't go through all these different things, you would have never known who you were on the strength side. You came here, you're a warrior on so many different ways. You have seen a lot of things that average people have not seen. You have endured a lot of things that, people wouldn't even make it out the door with. There's a lot of times where you feel like you're weak in your mind, soul, body, and whatever. But then it's just the fact is, if somebody, average person, would go through the stuff that you have endured, they probably wouldn't be able to go 2 steps. And a lot of times we don't give ourselves credit for the strength that you carry. There's times I can give people that whole, that whole speech about that. But then when it comes to my whole situation, I'll be looking stupefied, like, dude, you can't go by your own. And us as empaths, we do that. Like, oh, it's okay. Allow yourself to have faith in yourself. Know the good things are coming in when you look at your situation. Can you send me a sign, please? It's like you are the sign. It's all about how you choose what direction you choose to take on that. Is these all these situations is taking place in your life, is that blessing within the tragedy. Your purpose behind the pain, your test and your testimony, you know, the future and your faith. It's all about how you choose to look at it, all about how you decide to go on your path, and the decisions you make, how you stay focused on and appreciate the circumstances that has taken place. I can see all the things that I went through. I'm like, God, dog. I felt like danger prone Daphne. I'm like, how the heck am I still here? And it was like, shoot. I'm like, Timex, take a licking and keep on daggone ticking. Got don't got it in so many different directions. And there's so many times I'm gonna sat here and cry my eyes out and trying to really make peace with things, and you just get mad at my own self because I was still mad about something that I couldn't change, without me really understanding these are the things that had to take place to remind me why I'm here, why I'm doing the things that I'm doing, to be able to help others. These things, even though it personally happened to me, it was about the people I would come in connection with. There's so many times, that people have opened up and told me about their feelings about how my videos has helped them in some kind of way, how it helped them see the things within themselves that it was hard for them to recognize, being able to seek comfort, to know that other people have endured like you have, being able to understand, like, that's a blessing, because you be feeling like you are really stuck out like a sore thumb, and just to be able to know that there's crazy folks around here, and I really spiritually crazy, in a good way, that there's some people that go through the same things as you do, and we have a way of looking at it. It's all about how we way of healing. There's people that I connect with that be telling me these things. I'm like, is that a positive way that you're doing that? And it was like, oh yeah. I mean, if you see it as positive, as long as you're not hurting yourself or anybody else, keep allowing yourself to heal. There's a lot of times I got to analyze myself to the core just for me to make sense on what has happened in my life, what has taken place, and how am I going to be able to heal of it? Because it's like I've been holding anger in from my mom's ex-husband for I don't know how long. It was bad, but it was like within this last 3.5, almost close to 4 years, it was really hard for me to actually allow myself to take away that anger, because it really put me in a dark place that I could end up being in prison for stuff. But it's just like now, when I'm allowing myself to see this, even though it still hurts like hell, because the fact is, my dad has went through transition. I don't have that, physical connection with my mom. or no longer my dad, but it's like with his is a lot stronger because of the spiritual, that imaginary whatever it was, the amnesia you had to go through and all those things it took for him to have to pass away, for me to be able to remember all the things that has taken, has taken place in my life, that they went to take me to a therapist and made me erase all those different things. And being able to know that my dad's helping me from the other side is very much a blessing to me, because there's a lot of times, I would cry and say, how would I have been able to go through all this without you? When he passed, it was like, how can I do this without you? It really put me in a dark place, because I felt like I shouldn't have had to find out through those many terms, that would have probably broke anybody in so many different directions. But then just to know he has led me through so many spiritual circumstances, has been there, through the pain that I've carried. There's nights that I cried and just wish that I wouldn't wake up anymore because I didn't want to feel this pain. But then being able to, he kept telling me I have a purpose here. My mom kept telling me how proud she was of me because of the things that I have endured, that they didn't think I would be able to get over. But, even as angels, they my mom and them were there for me, and still is. So all these different changes is taking place in your life. It can hurt like hell. But those situations are your tools to be able to understand that you convert those into blessings and better opportunities for yourself. Is allowing you to see things at the deepest core, being able to heal in different ways. It's all about how you find like a positive outlet for you to be able to see what has taken place, and how you can get strength and positivity and love throughout that storm that you have endured. You're stronger than you give yourself credit for. A lot of times we face and what word am I trying to use? We allowing ourselves to, a lot of times we look at things in a negative way, of things that has taken place in your life. What things that you're still struggling with. you know I know the things that I still struggle with, because you're healing yourself in layers. And a lot of times we get frustrated with ourselves, is if we feel like we're cool about one situation and came at peace, and next thing you know, something else in that same situation, it was just like a different circumstance, but it's in that same thing, it comes and resurface. Then all of a sudden it brings up old wounds and old emotions from those old wounds, and it can be very frustrating. You're like, dad, why do I keep feeling this way about this circumstance? I really want myself to heal. I really want to get towards this, my element of happiness. But you have to be that one to decide, are you gonna allow yourself to just keep going through that rotation of that open door of pain, or you gonna allow yourself to walk straight through that door and say, I got this. This situation has showed me strength within many possibilities, that I can go further in life if I allow this situation just to make peace with me, or me making peace with it. you know and then keep going and grow from it. We don't endorse a lot of things. There are certain things that you've been open and honest about, but there are certain things that you done steady fought behind closed door. You done cried and try to say your kumbaya yas, but it still held on to you like a ball and chain, when you should have used that as like your weight, your counterweight, just to be able to uplift yourself and just say, this situation almost broke me, but it made me so much stronger. I can see the possibilities in that, because what you're moving forward in your truth. You're not holding on to pain. You're not holding on to anguish, punishment for yourself, punishment for other people, allowing yourself to forgive yourself for holding on to the pain that somebody else has caused in your life, and let it go and see it as that positive step that gives you, take you on that another step. Now allowing yourself to really analyze the staircase of healing. Because if you look at it as that, like looking like those Chinese steps, I forgot those the steps that they got. I think it's in China, where it's like all them steps. It look like something from Daggone Kill Bill. It's probably the same one. But if you look at it like, God, dog, I got all of these steps, that's going to overwhelm you. But if you allow yourself to take that time and just use that one step, And when you're allowing yourself, you're making those healthy habits for yourself and allow yourself to say, I made it through this day. I'm grateful for, the universe allowing me to see the best, even in the worst situations. And being grateful for those, and a lot of times I'll be listening to my own stuff like, girl, did you really say that? Yes, you did. Go ahead, good, proud. I do that. But there's a lot of times that we go through different things and we have endured it in the worst kind of way that other people will probably do a side eye like, how the hell did you make it through that? Shoot, I don't even know either. But it was just like by the grace of God. There's a lot of times I can share the most intimate moments with me that where I don't even know how the heck I made it through there, except, from the universe and God alone, and it makes you feel like you're invincible a lot of times because there's so many situations that you have overcome that many would not even be able to even touch the knob to open the door to go through that, you know, and you get mad at yourself a lot of times because certain things is taking place in your life and you'll keep thinking about it. And then you're like, ugh, why do you keep thinking about this? Because that change is taking place in your life and they're coming to the surface. And I had to tell myself that too. They're coming to the surface because it's no longer needed. It has served its purpose in your life. Thank you. And a lot of times it's hard for you to let go of something and still not be mad at it. But if you didn't go through that, you wouldn't see the strength you got. You wouldn't see the determination you got. You don't know how you had that straightforward mind is like, you know what, I'm trying to get towards this, but I know I can't get towards this if I'm still holding on to this, you know? So you have to allow yourself to see everything as a positive possibility. Yeah, it might look negative because it brought up some pain. It something brought up some ugliness that really, hit the heart. But that situation had to take place in life, because a lot of times we go through situations and it can be very hurtful. But if you looking at it like that, that's all you're gonna see out of it. You're not gonna see, the positive circumstances that you had throughout those painful situations. It taught you what you needed to through that, but you can grow through that, you know. And there's a lot of times I've, just seen the things that somebody would say to my dad, or they'll ask, what if somebody say that? He'd be like, hey, that's how they feel, that's more talking about them than it has to do with me, even though they directed it towards me. That's something they feel about themselves. So I said, I can admire you for that because I'll hold on to things until, death done came knocking at somebody's door twice. They could have died twice and I still had, that anger against them, So then it's just like, you have endured so much. You're still here. Even though that mess hurts like hell, look at all the positive uh, outcomes that came out of your situation. Look how many people's hearts you touched and being able to know so many people tell me, it makes me feel like I'm not alone. It makes me feel like I'm not crazy, nobody will understand me, but you understand me perfectly. And those are the things I don't sit up here and cry like, oh damn, I was like, ooh, they feel, because there's times that I really, would cry and say, I'm so tired of going through these things, I make videos about the toughest situations I've endured in life. Maybe I will tell them about what it was, or just being able to tell them the aspect of it. And then it is just like, I tell God, I was just so, tired of enduring all this pain. I'm pushing out so much positive, even though when people have showed me the most ugliest things, I've gave them chances, and then they went back and just jabbed me again. And then it's just like a lot of times you don't realize you love really hard. There's time when there's something out there really good for you. You have been so used to being dogged out in so many different ways. The blessing would come in being right presented to you, and then you're allowing yourself to rather look at something that is really did you all type of ways. And then and it's just like I've seen that towards other people, but I was like, you didn't realize you were doing that to yourself as well. There'll be good situations. I've been in really good relationships in and out when I was dealing with my toxic relationship, the cycle that I'm dealing with now. um my basically my power struggle at the time, I would call it my power struggle, but that was the biggest blessing I could went through because it made me love myself on so many different levels. And I've seen some really healthy relationships I was in, but just for the fact is that person knew how to pull those strings for me to come running back looking like Bobo the Fool.
I went there, and I really lost. I could have lost out on something good, but it was meant for me to go through that because there's something that was so much better for me down the road. And I had to allow myself to endure those bad things for me to get where I needed to be. Because a lot of times we have endured really toxic relationships. And we, at times, oh, I wish I never met this person, or oh, I wish I never went through this. But you had to go through it. Whatever you were lacking, you got placed in a situation for you to be able to balance out and see where you're lacking at. I lacked in self-love. I lacked in placing my happiness towards other people's happiness, and they weren't trying to do the same thing for me. I, downgraded myself just to make somebody feel like they were higher. All those different things. And then when I went through this, I really appreciate what I went through, regardless of, what kind of situation that, it was very hurtful for me to endure from that person. But then when I allowed myself, this prepared me for a life of a relationship that is better deserving of me. you know Being able to know when I get into my next relationship, that person will appreciate me for everything, flaw and all, will be supportive towards me as I'm being supportive towards him, or being there knowing I can be able to tell him my downfalls, my weaknesses, and not have that person blab out my business to everybody that they choose to lay with, or being able to use that against me to hurt me later on down the line. And so for me enduring all those things, I really appreciate that, because when you allowing yourself to see you loving the wrong person for so long, and then you experience that grief of reflection of you, basically you weren't just allowing them to abuse you, you allowed yourself to be abused too, because you accepted something that wasn't even deserving of you. But then when I allowed myself to really see for what it was, I am appreciating of me going through those situations, because I know I would never ever allow anybody to do that to me. I'm not going to be in a situation where I see this is all about you and your needs. This is not about me, even though it's, but there's situations where you be in where that person may be a little controlling, and then it can get a lot worse. But then, allowing myself to heal and do that, because a lot of people, I know there's people like, Ross, I'm so tired of being by myself. I want to find my soulmate. I want to be, married. I want to do that. And I'm just like, you have, if you, when you're ready for marriage, you will make those changes, those necessary changes, to where you can come into a happy relationship. Because a lot of times we feel like, dad, why am I always in these relationships that are not working? Because you're not ready to be in a relationship yet. There are certain things that you probably have not healed from. There's things you probably have not changed yet. And I tell people like that, if you have not took that time out to grieve, and I mean, it's not like somebody died, but that relationship of toxicity is really, you had to grieve from that. You had to acknowledge that you allowed yourself to make very poor choices in that relationship just to be in a relationship. Because there's a lot of people, I've even done it. I've been in relationships just to say I was in a relationship. I wanted to be married just to say I was married. But that's not all it is. If you want to get married, you have to allow yourself to find a relationship to where that person is going to fight for you and you're going to fight for them. Y'all go to counseling if y'all need to, if it got into a bad patch. Not somebody to where they didn't want to fix something, they don't ran to somebody else because they felt like it was so much better over there, instead of taking that time to fix things here. And then you end up being in a situation it's not easy to get up out of. It's easy to walk away when it's a relationship, but when comes to something where you don't sign some papers and that mess is legal, and I hate signing papers about anything. It's like signing my soul away. But going through all those things, I'm really glad I went through my toxic relationship, because there was people that I was talking to like, girl, I met this person. Next thing you know, he's dealing with somebody else, or next thing you know, that they talked about, they really cared about me. Next thing you know, they ghost me, and I'm just like, I want you to be real with me. They're like, what? I said, are you still dealing with old wounds from your last situation? Are you just dating this person because you finally got that freedom to date other people? And they were like, said, come on, I'm gonna know if you're lying or not. They were like, yeah. I said, that's the main reason why it's not working for you. You have to take that time out for yourself. Yeah, it may suck that you gotta lay in the bed by yourself, or if you're out there sitting up here having sex with other people, and you got to be careful about that too, because especially with all this stuff going around now, and on top of that, the bad energy that they have. Where your energy has been. If your energy is pure or not. If you haven't been sleeping with nobody except yourself and pleasuring yourself, that's all a different story. But the next person, you can't guarantee where they've been at. I said there's too much stuff coming out like that right now. And it's just like, now you have to allow yourself not to submit until that person. If that person is pure like you, that's a whole different story. But a lot of times you don't know if that person been with somebody else, or saying they with you and only you, but then as soon as you out of their frequency, next thing they harping on something else. And I feel like I'm blessed because they do got them packages. It keeps on giving, the gift is given. So I'm blessed that I didn't have to go through anything like that. But being able to see every situation I've been placed in when it came to so-called family, and I really don't want to call them family, I just call it reflectors, that it really reflected to me about what I had to remember about myself. Even though I went through a tragic situation, when it came to family I never thought they would ever do anything to me. They became the exact tool I needed to remind me to the core of what I was, what was forgotten, what was always there that was just brushing on the surface. That I had to go through these tragedies just for me to be able to recognize what was coming up to the surface. And that can really place you in that dark night of the soul. Everything comes up, everything is raw. Makes you want to just end everything, for give up on everything. But these are the things you had to really see. These are starting your positive opportunities when you allowed yourself to basically sit with yourself and really see the reflection that you hold. Are you happy with the reflection you see? Are you, when you see yourself in the mirror, are you just seeing everything that you went through that was sad? Or you're allowing yourself to love what you see? Because when you look in the mirror, it's like you see yourself for who you are, or you're going to see yourself as how somebody else wants to see you. And if it's that's you don't want to do that. How other people see you. Everybody has their own line of perception on how they want to see you. There's a lot of people that I know that says good things about me, but I know there's a hell of a lot of people that really don't have nothing good to say about me. And I'm appreciate from both. I really do. But then I'm allowing myself to really see the things that I've gone through, the storms I've endured, the times I had to, basically cry, go off and stuff all by myself because the stuff I endured, and the things that I really want to make peace with, things that I really want closure to. Just be able to face my truth, within the closure of my truth. And it's just like all those different outcomes is not just helped me, but it helped so many people that have came into contact with me. Being able to be that peacemaker and that person, because a lot of times I don't know, even though you tell me, at times, Roslynn, you just don't know how much you helped me. And there's a lot of times, like I said, I will cry, and they're happy tears, because I at least know, even through my tragic circumstances of my situation that I've endured, it's been somebody's blessing into their life. And that makes me feel like my situation wasn't in vain. This happened for a reason. They knew, they made me the way they made me, because I have a giving heart. And a lot of times, I got myself in some jacked up situations for me having a good heart. But then even through those bad situations, I appreciate what those folks did, you know, because those are the things that make me know when people go out their way to really hurt you and hurt you on purpose, is because they see that good in you, and they don't realize they have the same good in them too. But they receive power from trying to break somebody, because that's how they feel about themselves. We cannot take that personal. Even when those things happen, we have to allow ourselves forgive those people, you know, because it travels in waves. When it comes to them, when they're hurting, it hurts in waves. And a lot of times the only way they can feel like there's content by trying to break somebody else's life along the way. You have to really make peace with that, because it's hard to do that, you know, but it's just like when you allow, either you can allow yourself to see within you the truth you have within you out of that situation that you've been placed in. But while you're doing that, you can take your main focus off of you healing and try to go after visions for that person that has placed you in that one. Or you can be able to be happy for what that person has brought to your life, because it allowed you to recognize the truth within yourself that was so hard to see before, or other people seeing. That's why I tell a lot of times people see your strength, and that's why they mess with you, because they see that strength in you and they admire that. And they also, when they admire it, they're envying it at the same time. Why can I be like them? Number one, when you start comparing yourself to somebody, that made you very low, because everybody's life is different. Everybody had to go through different things. Everybody had to endure different things. Your path is different, but it's all about how you feel about yourself. What power of charge are you going to take for yourself to heal, or you need to heal and be happy for those circumstances that taken place, because you learned a lot through your tragedies. You have learned a lot through your failures, mishaps, setbacks, poor decisions, situation you don't place yourself in, and others as well. So, I hope you are able to recognize, relate to the video. I know a lot of y'all are going through different things at this time, and a lot of times you feel like you're drowning in your sorrow. I know, I get it, you know, but you have to allow yourself to be kind towards yourself. Forgive yourself from holding on to that pain, those painful situations for far so long. Allow yourself to make peace with that, because there's so many blessings heading around the corner for us. Yeah, it's hard to just walk away from something that has really hurt you. But if you did not go through these things, you have to understand you would have never known who you were if you did not experience these things. It's easy to find out little things through good situations. You can be blessed about that. But when it comes to that dark rooted this type of situation that is gonna have you cutting cords in so many ways, you'll be cutting cords in your sleep. You're like, just be able to, I can't go here. You're gonna be able to appreciate the things that has taken place in your life. And I have to remind myself that at all times, when certain things that has really disrupt my heart, I had to really thank those situations, because it allowed me to keep going. When I get stuff on here, I get a lot of positive, but I get, every once in a while, I get those hiccups and negative. And that's okay, because both of them motivate me to do more. Because when somebody says something too negative about certain situations that you placed in, when me doing my videos, that let me know my truth don't some way threaten that person or rub them the wrong way. That's okay. Everybody got their opinion about certain things. But I appreciate both, because it made me want to go harder for what I got to do. So I hope you were able to resonate with the content of this video. I hope that you're being so safe and being, in a healthy space, whether it's mentally or emotionally or physically. I pray for everybody that may be enduring this situation with the coronavirus. I pray that, people become safe after this. I know there's a couple of people that have presented saying that they might have that, and it just breaks my heart, because I hope and pray that's like a mistake, or hopefully you just got a sniffle or something like that, a little flu or whatever, and it can get over. So I've been saying a lot of prayers for the people that were really affected by this, and I still do. So I would love to give a post notification shout out to Miss Linda Bell, as well as Nikki and Mimi B, and with expectancy as well, and Sophie as well too. So if you're new to my channel, drop a line. I would love a chance to get to know you as much as you're knowing me. Like and subscribe, share, hit that notification bell. Give me a thumbs up. Tell somebody about the channel. They might find something they're interested in. If you need to get in touch with me privately, because I know there's a lot of people that really don't like putting their stuff out here, which I understand, you can always find me on Facebook under Facebook Messenger. I'm not accepting any friend requests, but I'd rather stay connected with people on the messenger. Whatever we talk about is confidential, and I help you out the best way I can. If I can't, I'll send you in the direction that may help you. So I hope and pray that everything
that you're trying to manifest in your life comes 100,000 times more than what you asked for, and it comes some more sooner than you expected it. Know that you are truly blessed, highly favored, and forever loved. Knowing there's always somebody out there praying for your better days. And make sure you give out love, light, positivity, as well as prosperity words, vibes, frequencies. You never know, those things can really take somebody a long way. And I'll see you in my next video. Much love to you. Peace.